Perfect. So let's talk a little bit about the functionality of our nervous system. Do you guys know anything about the nervous system? I know it's been a buzzword lately, especially in like the community of the world of coaching, but for those of you guys who aren't in the coaching world, maybe you don't even know what that is. We learned it like in basic biology, or in maybe in undergrad if you went to college. But the nervous system, what do you know about the nervous system? Can you put that in the chat? Just any little things. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like kind of this word. It's so funny because I was, I've been utilizing that word a lot. And one of my clients, she's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. What's the nervous system? And I was like, oh, I guess that isn't basic information. Um, you know, but the nervous system is shorthand for the central nervous system. And our central nervous system is our brain and our spinal cord. Okay. So it is responsible for both like automatic sort of muscle responses, reflexes, and also like things that we have, voluntary and involuntary movements is what it's known for. So when we're talking about your nervous system needs to be balanced and your nervous system needs to be reset, what we're talking about there is that you have possibly been in a state of chronic stress where your sympathetic nervous system has been activated for too long. So a couple functions. So this is kind of like the class of the class. Okay. So we're going to talk about two things: the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system, these are both a part of the autonomic like nervous system response team, we'll say. So these are all automatic responses that our body does. We don't have to think about, which is great because if a bear's coming, you want to activate your stress response where you're fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Hopefully flight if it's a bear. And so you just want that to kick into gear where you don't have to worry about it, which is great. So what happens when the nervous system is in its response, when the switch has been on, you have perceived a threat, you've perceived something that is threatening, and your body does some action. So it will dilate your blood vessels, it'll dilate your pupils, it'll pump your heart faster, rapid heart, it'll make your breath will be a little bit quicker, and your digestion will be turned off completely. Because we're not processing anything, we're not digesting anything, we're getting the out of Dodge, okay? We're trying to figure out where we're going to go or what we're going to do. And actually, like, these are so automatic, you're not really even thinking with your prefrontal cortex. The most you're thinking of is with like more of your reptilian brain, which is what is a response that I can do to this specific event that I've done before that has kept me safe. Now, where that becomes a problem is, as children, we are conditioned over time to respond to certain stimuli that are stressful in the same way. So if you were stressed out as a kid and you had to hide from your family because there was like all sorts of craziness going on and you needed to hide, now you may find that you hide, you avoid, you retreat, you retract. If you were in a family system where you had to fight your way through it, you had to fight to get your voice heard, you had to fight to exist, then you may be prone to anger now that you are an adult. Does this make sense? Yeah. So can you think of what you did maybe as a child that is your stress response now? Something similar. And these stress responses don't have to be that like intense. Like they can also be, I mean, they're intense for you, but they don't have to be like anger or complete retreating. Yeah, dissociation, shutting down, perfect. Yeah, a lot of us do this, but they don't have to be. It can be something like, people pleasing is also a trauma response, right? And even though it was really beneficial when you were a kid, It helped you keep the peace. It made sure that everybody was okay. Maybe it distracted everyone from the chaos. So it felt really endearing when you were young, and it helped a lot. But as an adult, if you're still people pleasing, how is that benefiting you as a being? It's not. On the one hand, I avoid conflict as much as possible, trying to overcome this. Some conflict is healthy, but a lot of the time it's making sure everyone else is fine. Yeah, exactly. Right? Emotional eating. Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad that you brought that up. We will do anything to externalize the stress that we're feeling internally, to find some relief externally, to deal with the stress internally. So sometimes it's eating, sometimes it's mindlessly scrolling on social media, really not taking in any information, because again, your digestive system has been turned off. Your digestive system is not just digesting food, it is processing information. It's digesting information. So if your stress response is kicked on and you're not really processing any information, and you're utilizing the same tactics as you did as a child, because that's all that you have access to in this moment, how do you feel that life really can flow from there? Does it feel like you have a lot of control in those moments? No, like not at all. So, this is what we're talking about, is the opposite switch, your baseline. Your baseline as a human is actually operating in the parasympathetic nervous system. And the parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for rest and digest. That's like the little shorthand for it. So what it means is that when you are in a state of calm, you are resting, you're processing your environment, you're processing your emotions, you're digesting your food properly. Your body is recalibrating, it's restoring itself, because our bodies are fantastic. They're incredible. The fact that we even have these systems that are automatic is so amazing. But when you're so used to living in the state of your sympathetic nervous system being on all the time, because of the household you grew up in, if there was like a lot of conflict, or because of trauma experiences that you've held and you've had that just keep getting reaffirmed over and over again, so you're always kind of in a state of stress. When that happens, you are not really able to process your emotions very well, and they get stuck in your body. And then now you're working with a nervous system that is overloaded. So any additional stressor, it feels like the end of the world. It feels like an overflow. It feels way too much. So you may really shut down for like something that is so minute and you don't really understand, but your body's doing this thing that's like, I'm not even present in my body anymore. I don't even exist here anymore. And then all of a sudden you come to, like, maybe moments later, or like an hour later, and you're like, what the just happened to me? I have no idea. And that's how the stress response works when you're not used to, or you haven't been intentionally engaging the parasympathetic nervous system. So our parasympathetic nervous system, we can activate it on our own. And the more that we strengthen it, the more room that we give our nervous system to handle stress. Does this make sense? Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay, cool. That's awesome. That was very clear. So because of this, we want to consciously begin working on expanding our nervous system. Because the more that we can consciously do it, the more that we will get used to being in that state versus the opposite. And then over time, your nervous system will kind of take over, and you won't have to worry about always flipping it on every single time you perceive stress. Your body will just naturally kind of do that response. So this practice that we're going to go through tonight is a series of different practices that you can either use in totality. So, I'm going to give you guys this replay, and you'll have access to, I'll even, whenever I email it out to you guys tomorrow, I'll put the minutes of when our practice starts. So that way you guys can try to do this maybe on a weekly basis, or if you want to do it, a couple times a week. I just recommend trying to engage in the entirety of this practice, or at least components of this practice. If you can, daily would actually be really preferable for your nervous system. Because again, we're trying to override something that is suggesting that you should be in a state of stress more often than not. And it's so, it's so wonderful. A lot of us don't feel like, I don't know about you, but like, I don't even know that I'm stressed sometimes. Something like, I couldn't even tell you what exactly, but there'll be like these little tell signs, like my body will physically start to display that I've been stressed for long periods of time. Like I'll like get sick. So if you're in a heightened state of stress, your immune system's also compromised. So you're getting sick a lot more often. When I was like really in a really stressful period in my life, I remember people around me were always like, Brittany, you're always sick. And I was like, huh? Well, yeah, like, but it's just like the seasons. And I really had no body awareness that was connected to my stress response, because I didn't even register that I was stressed out because I've been living in such a state of stress for so long. Do you know what I mean? So we're overriding that response with these practices. So, okay. We're going to get into the practice now. I'm going to explain a little bit about what we're going to be doing. Before I get started, is there any other questions or anything you want to know that you want to jot down about the nervous system specifically? Now, I had a question earlier about self-sabotage, and this is all related to that. Because when you're in a heightened state of stress, you're going to go back to comfort. So like anything that is comforting externally that you've used in the past is going to be your go-to in that moment. So before you make any decisions, doing some of these techniques that I'll teach you will help you regulate your nervous system so that way you can make better, more conscious decisions moving forward. And that's like super important. So some of these practices, and I think I'll give you a couple where you can use in a pinch as well. So that way, like, you don't have to do a whole 15-minute set, something if you're triggered in the moment and need to make a quicker decision. But yeah, now I know why I was reading so much last Christmas. Yeah, it's so funny because like that's something that is very true. Whenever we'll find anything that we can to escape from our reality, escape from our world, and books can be like that. Also, work is like that. Self-help stuff is like that. Always looking for anything outside of yourself to suggest that you're wrong or bad, or you can't do it, or you don't know how to figure it out, and you don't want to deal with it. So you pour into something outside of you. And this is all about you coming back to the self, coming back to your baseline, which is that you have all the answers inside of you. No one can tell you anything. You actually have it all. Anytime you hear anything, even from me, from any person who's teaching you or whatever, it should be validation for what you already know. It should be more of like, resonance with your soul, because you already know. You just needed to hear it again. You just needed to remember, And so that's what a lot of this work is about, coming back to the self, okay? So the way that this is going to work, I may ask you guys to lay down if you want. We're going to start off with a little bit of light breath work, and then we will move into a little bit of tapping. And then from there, I will lead us in a guided meditation. Okay. Now, breath work, you can sit down, you can lay down. I like to lay down. It feels cozy for me. We're going to be doing, have any of you guys ever done breath work before? A little bit. So this is like really gentle, really light. It's not going to be like a whole hyperventilation session, well, while that's also really wonderful too, but the whole purpose of this is to feel restored, and we don't want to wake up the body. We're trying to like put the body back in rest. So, one of the first breathing techniques that I feel like is so powerful in a pinch, and I'll teach you this before we get into the actual like session, is box breathing. Now, you may have heard it, you may have done it, but we're going to practice box breathing together today. It's one of my favorites. Anytime I feel stressed or triggered, I go to the box breath. You can do it at any moment. It's not going to look weird. And it's all through the nose. So in through the nose for 4 counts, hold at the top for 4 counts, out through the nose for 4 counts, hold at the bottom for 4 counts. And we'll do 5 rounds of that to practice together, okay? So if everybody is ready, make sure you're sitting nice and tall so you're not blocking your airways, and just making sure you have access to, your full range of breath, which is again why I kind of like to sit down lay down sometimes. All right, so we're going to count in through the nose, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release through the nose, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in through the nose, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, last one, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. Now you can resume breathing as normal. How do you feel? Feel good? Feel nice and relaxed? Wonderful. Okay, so something I'm going to also show you is a little bit of a little bit of somatic movement. Now, I'm not a somatic therapist. I don't have formal training, but I did learn a few techniques as a therapist, and I've also done my work of somatic work before as well. So I'm just going to show you this, but if you want an actual somatic healer, somebody I really recommend is the Workout Witch. She's amazing. She's wonderful. She has these little tiny courses. I just love her. She's wonderful. She's rad. So one thing is very simple. It's very gentle, is rolling in a circle. Nice and slow. Just moving your waist, allowing the movements to be super gentle. And this just kind of offers your body the opportunity to kind of rock. And rocking is really good, it's something that our parents used to do to us when we were children. It really helps just kind of settle the nervous system and release some energy. All right, and we're gonna go the other way. And do the same. Just allowing your body to move in this very gentle way. It's helping your nervous system kind of calm down. Now, if you want to be a real G, you can add some breathing to it. In through the nose. And out through the nose. And we'll stop this movement for now. Okay. How did that feel? Which one felt better? Having a little bit of movement too. Yeah. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Yeah. It's the wonderful thing about body-based practices, we'll say, is that it's not one size fits all. I want to give you a variety of techniques that you can choose how you want to use them. All of these you'll be able to use in separateness as well. So whether it's breath work or physical movement, dancing is also really great, really beautiful. We have a dance choreographer and teacher and coach in here, Olivia, and she knows for sure that the dance is just really wonderful for moving energy out of the body. So, but not all the time do we have space to dance or room to dance, or do we even feel comfortable dancing? So we want to have other tools at our disposal. So breath work is really great. Tapping is really great for that too. And then meditation, obviously, you know, so if you can do meditation where you can sit still in silence and really just be present with yourself for like 5 minutes and work your way up to about 30 minutes, like that's amazing. But a lot of people aren't really starting there. So a guided meditation that's gentle and easy can be really, really helpful. For those people who, like, you know, say they have a little ADHD, meditation can feel really difficult. But again, all of these are just muscles that you're learning to practice. So implementing them as often every week as you can is like really, really beneficial. And you'll start to notice. The one thing I want you to do, your like, we'll say homework assignment, is after you start doing these practices, you know, after we have our practice today, and if you were to maybe do it again tomorrow or do some version of it again tomorrow, see how you are, like, start to notice how you're responding to stressors. Do you notice that you're responding a little differently as you are starting to expand your capacity? That's how you know that this stuff works. Okay. All right. So if you're going to lay down, I invite you to lay down now. I invite you to grab a blanket or something cozy, because during our breathwork session, sometimes because you can lose a little bit of like the blood is going, you know, your body's trying to take as much oxygen in, so your blood is kind of going to the energy into your core, and so your extremities may get a little cold. We're not again going to be hyperventilating in this breathwork session, you know, this active or conscious sort of hyperventilating breath. So I don't anticipate you'll get really cold in this one, but just so you know, that's very normal. Also, you may go into a thing called claw hands. And the claw hands, or tetany, I think is how you pronounce it, is just another sign that your body is like in a state of more CO2. And that is just a natural byproduct of doing breath work. It is completely safe. It is completely normal. And if that happens, all you have to do is just return to normal breathing and it will go away. Okay. But again, I don't really think that the breaths that we'll be taking today will activate that in you, because we're going to do really long and slow and, you know, just very gentle breath work today. Okay. So as you're getting set up, I'm going to play some music. If you have headphones, this would be the time maybe we want to put them in. Also, it may be a little loud, so let's just see. How does that sound for everyone? Okay. Olivia, you're a little, okay, it's good. I was like, you're a little blurred. Can you guys hear me all right, and the music? Beautiful, perfect. Okay, get settled. All right. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. We're going to start with a long 8-count breath first. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. release. And come to the bottom and hold. Allow your body to just do what it's doing. Allow your thoughts to fall away. Be here in this hold for a little bit longer. Allow yourself to feel grounded where you're laying down. A few more moments. We're going to take in a really big inhale on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. All the way up to the top. All the way up. Fill your lungs to capacity. Hold at the top. And then audibly let out an sigh. Okay, we're going to pick back up our breathing with a 4 count. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In. Out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Now take a deep breath in through your nose, all the way up to the top, and hold. Release through your mouth, and then hold on empty. And allow your body to just be present with the emptiness, with the room, with the nothingness, with the space. Just a few more moments. All right, and then the count of 3, take a really big inhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Hold all the way up to the top and hold. And then release with a sigh. All right, beautiful. We're going to go back to the 8 count breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 count breath. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Take a deep breath in all the way up to the top. Fill your lungs to capacity and hold at the top. Through your nose, and we're going to hold on empty again. Listen to it. If you're feeling tingles in your body, make yourself really your nervous system is so good and supported in this. Even if it's a little challenging, it's so beautiful. Such a beautiful practice. Close. On my count, take a really deep, big breath in. 1, 3, and then release with a sigh. And back to normal breathing. now I want you to find space in your body that feels like a little bit of love. We're going to tap there. I want you to repeat after me. I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm supported. I've got this. I can let go of all of those fears, all of those self-doubts, all of those areas of me where I don't trust myself. I choose to let those go now. I am held. I am safe. I'm supported. I trust myself. I've got me. I've got this. I know exactly what to do when I can calm my mind. I know exactly who I am when I can calm my mind. I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my feelings. The only job that I have is to love, is to trust. I'm fully supported by the universe. I'm fully known, fully seen by the Creator. I'm safe. I can trust myself. I've survived 100% of my life. I've got this. I trust the unknown. It's filled with possibility. It's filled with beauty. And even if I don't know what's going to be here tomorrow, I can trust myself to make it through. Rub a part of yourself that you're tapping on, just in this loving way. Say, I've got me. Now bring your hands to your heart. Keep your eyes closed. Take yourself to a beautiful space. One where you feel just completely relaxed, completely yourself. It feels so good, so yummy. And as you're here in this space, just enjoying it, you are met by the version of you that has already overcome the circumstance that you find you're struggling with. She's just a few years older than you are now. Just take her in. Take in her smile, the way that she's looking at you with such reverence and respect. She knows that she is only who she is because of you. Because of who you are in this moment, because of who you have been for her, because of everything that you've gone through. She is just so grateful to be in your presence. And her smile is big, and her arms are outstretched. And she embraces you in the most beautiful and nourishing hug you have ever experienced. Her hug feels like home. She plays with your hair and rubs her head and your back in just the right way, the only way that you are. She's you. She knows exactly how you like to be touched and held. And she just is so grateful to be here with you in this moment. And she tells you and reminds you that you are safe and you have everything you need to become who you will become. You're fine. You've got this. There's nothing outside of you that you need. Everything you need is already here. He knows this. And she is begging you to know this too, to truly process this. She loves you with her whole being, and she is here for you because she is you. So just take a few more moments to be with her. Allow her to whisper to you anything that you hear, anything that you've had questions about that you needed answers to. After you receive those messages, allow her to merge with you. Her hug becomes you. When you feel ready, take a deep breath in through your nose. Release through your mouth. Wiggle your toes, your fingers, and come back to the room. Take time to stretch a little bit. How are we feeling, everyone? So chilled out, huh? So we have a few minutes. If you guys have any questions or any thoughts, I'm curious about your experience with that practice, what you liked about it, what you think you can use again, what your higher self said. Always love hearing the messages of the higher self. I feel like it just makes it so much more real when we share what we heard. Unless you've never talked to her, it's like, you just can't make this up. Like, she always has something to say. Did anyone cry? Did anyone feel anything? What came through? Anybody go to sleep? I've fallen asleep so many times during breath work. Oh my goodness. Did anyone's legs fall asleep like mine did? Very relaxing. Beautiful. Yeah, holding the exhale for that long was difficult, but I also know I've been fine with doing that in the past. So it's probably is showing the stress I've been in recently. Yeah, and that's great because it means that you can get back into that exhale. It actually doesn't take that long. The first few times that I've done it, it was like, just like, but over time, I think I can hold mine now for like almost a minute and a half, which is crazy. So that exhale, that hold can lengthen and strengthen over time as you practice it a little bit more, but it is not easy for sure. Anything else? Maddie, I see you typing, so no, take your time. What parts do you feel like you'll be able to practice, moving forward after today? I definitely just had an emotional release. Oh, that makes me so happy. My inner child was spinning with joy for me to care for her and be with her. It brought me to the love I give to children for work. And my inner child said to me, "You are healing me every day by showing this love." Oh, sweetheart. I love that. It's my favorite. It's so amazing, like where we go, if we just tune into ourselves and just give ourselves a moment to like get rid of the noise and making decisions from this place, especially like this is really, really important for my cerebral babes. You know who you are. It's all of you here. Guys are the thinkers, the intellectual ones, the beautiful brains that you have. You're just always living from a place in your head, trying to, move through this world with fire. But like, we need to drop into the breath. We need to drop back into the body. We need to get out of our head. One of the most beautiful things I heard a chiropractor say to me, she's like, everyone lives from the neck up. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. I had no idea. I never really consider what's going on down here in my nervous system, in my soul, in my heart space. And so these practices can help you get out of your head and start making decisions from your body. Because your body holds, yes, it may hold and store trauma, but it also holds and stores wisdom. So that's what we wanted to activate today, is your body's wisdom. And I'm happy that you got to meet your higher self for a moment. If you didn't meet your higher self, that's okay too. Hopefully you at least went to a relaxing place where you could just kind of be with yourself and with your, own thoughts and my voice, apparently. But yeah, so are there any questions about what we talked about today? I know it's like a shorter workshop that I've done. And I'm trying so hard to stay on time, so I think I did a good job. We even have like a few minutes extra. So yeah, questions about the nervous system, questions about like how to manage a certain situation, anything that you want to ask me before we end for today. Yeah, perfect. I'm glad that you mentioned that. A lot of this will be a digestive period as well, right? So a processing period. You may not have anything drop in quite yet, and that's totally all right. So just start noticing where things do drop in. And you have access to my email if you have a question or whatever pertaining to this workshop. Yeah, that's good. Techniques for when a spiral begins. When I'm in a spiral, interceding your thoughts. So like, quick techniques, mantra. So one of the mantras I think I may have even shared with you is like, this or something better, this or something better. So anytime I'm feeling anxious, like things aren't working out the way I thought or the way I wanted them to, and it sends me into a spiral, this or something better really helps. Or any sort of mantra you can think of, like, I am love, I am love, I am love. And then saying that mantra to intercede or break up the racing thought that's happening. So then you have enough space and time to go to a breathing technique to get you out of fight, flight, or freeze. Okay. So a mantra to intercede immediately, and then go to breathing. That will help you stop from spiraling. And your breathing, honestly, you may have to do it for like a few minutes. So the box breathing, or even the in for 8, out for 8, you may have to do that for like, a good 5 minutes to get your nervous system to shift on the parasympathetic response. Processing is happening. I'm just not putting words to it yet, which is a good thing, because it means I'm not in my head. Yeah, that's great. I love that. That actually makes me really happy. No thoughts is good. When you can't remove yourself. Yeah. So that would be when you can't remove yourself either, because you would just say it in your mind. I'm love, I'm love, I'm love, I'm love, I'm love, I'm love. Or you would even excuse yourself. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom. So if you need to excuse yourself and go to the bathroom too, there should be a way for you to at least like if you can take a moment and excuse yourself. If not, then a mantra, and then just breathe. But do it consciously, because you'll find that when you're stressed, you may hold your breath, which is why in the breathing technique, we wanted to consciously hold our breath. Because unconsciously we're always holding it. So it's paired with negative, like a stress response. But when we consciously learn that we're holding our breath, we're actually teaching our body that like, this is not paired with that stress response anymore. I'm consciously choosing this. And then what else happens? Oh, and then we have quick breaths, obviously, like short breaths. That's how you know you're also stressed. So just deep breaths. Just do it consciously. Let's see. How to know when something is coming through intuition and when it's fear. Yes, I love this question. How to connect to balancing the nervous system through that. Oh, I love this question. So intuition is calm. is chill. It is like, it feels like it not always like feels, it won't always feel easy, but it feels simple. Whereas fear is very loud and intrusive and like, like always. So for example, let's see, a good example would be, okay, so like say, I always like using dating examples. Say like you texted somebody and you were like really excited about them, but then they didn't like text you back right away. And then you kind of go into the spiral, like, why haven't they texted me back? Like, do I need to like text them again? Do I need to make sure that they're okay? Like, that's an intrusive thought. It's not intuition. Intuition would be like, it's fine. Like, they'll get to you whenever they can. Like, you don't have to worry about that. Go do something else. Go hang out over there. It'll just feel a little bit more calm. It's not as loud. Does that make sense? Okay. Did I answer your question? So like in those moments too, what you would do is breathing. So like the 4-count breath, the box breath would be really beautiful there. An 8-count breath where you breathe out like you're breathing through a straw is actually really great for your nervous system too. So you go in through the nose for 8 and then you breathe out. You're breathing through a straw. And then that will help quiet. It'll help you get out of your reptilian brain and back into your prefrontal cortex. So all of these are strategies to help you get out of your the part of your brain that is like primitive. So that way you can access your prefrontal cortex, which has decision-making, organization, like thoughts, like, just connection, all these things that are really beautiful up there. Makes sense? Other additional questions? How does that feel? Does it feel practicable? Does it feel doable, you guys? Beautiful. I'm so grateful that you guys made it today. I know it's like a Thursday night. I know part of me was like, I wonder if I should do another day. But, I'm going to send out this email tomorrow and I'll put the minutes down. So if you wanted to go back into the practice again, you can. If you want just text me if you want the songs, and then you could do your own practice too. I can totally give you my playlist. Yeah, awesome. I know these are some of like my favorite songs, my favorite little classical pieces. Oh, that's also really cool and important. Classical music, most of it is on the correct frequency. I think it's on the 432 hertz frequency, which is healing. Unlike other music, is a little bit off. And so this is just like another layer to helping us repair our cellular damage and our nervous system. Our nervous system is made up of cells, of nerves. And so we want to, if we can help ourselves by even utilizing the proper music and the proper channels, it can also encourage and support rebalancing. But you can look on YouTube for, like restorative healing music or healing tones and frequencies if you want. Amazing, lovely. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you guys have some really good rest, and take a shower after this if you want. Like, just do whatever feels good. Journal a little bit, maybe what came through. And I love you guys. Take care.